Good morning, Ben Troy. We are at the Sheikh Zayed Primary School here in Mombasa, where 10,000 education stakeholders revolving around the Kenya primary school head teachers, the annual KEPSHA conference, are converged here to see and deliberate if they can come up with policies that will govern the transition to the junior secondary school. This is a conference that began yesterday. On Sunday, we were here doing the preps together with the officials. Yesterday, it was the governor's days where Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir was here to emphasize on the role that the county governments can play in supporting the primary school heads. Right about now, we are expecting the Cabinet Secretary of Education to make his way in this venue. The Principal Secretary is already here, Belio Kipsang. We are waiting for the arrival of the Cabinet Secretary. His Excellency, the President William Ruto was expected to grace this occasion. We are uncertain whether he will make it for the occasion. However, we understand the Cabinet Secretary is on his way and the arrival of the Principal Secretary has already been graced. So during these deliberations, the 4-day conference, the school heads, they have received very well the reforms that the Presidential Workforce on Education reforms have tabled to have the junior secondary schools be domiciled in some of the primary school heads. Now, yesterday, according to the KICD director, Professor Charles, he emphasized the need of the teacher-learners relationship to continue blossoming right at the primary school level, and this will ensure that these learners who are transitioning to their adolescent stage, they are able to get adequate learning facilities and emotional support from their teachers. Whereas if you would have taken them to other schools, for example in secondary schools, then it will have been a contentious issues. However, let me not preempt anything. Let me just bring in some of the school heads to give us some of their expectations on how they have received these reforms and their expectation to the government as these reforms start being enacted in the various primary school. Karibu sana. This is Mr. Patrick to give us an overview how he has received the reforms on the education tabled by the Presidential Workforce to have junior secondary schools domiciled in primary schools. What are their immediate demands? Karibu sana Bwana Patrick, tueleze tu what is your immediate demands as you ready yourself, of course, to host the junior secondary schools.
Thank you very much.
Start with your name and your primary school.
Thank you. I'm Tuitaek Patrick, a teacher of primary school in Baringo County. I want to take this opportunity to say we welcome the decision that junior secondary school is domiciled in primary schools, and we really appreciate. We now expect the government to support us because we have a lot of challenges in the ground, especially the facilities that are required. We want to ask the government to assist us because the learners are very important, and we need to make sure that they get what is supposed to be given to them.
What are the immediate infrastructural or demands, or the teaching aids demands, that you're expecting the government to also take an upper hand when it comes to the costing footing?
Okay, thank you. Okay, we expect the highest thing that we need is the resources, the laboratories and the resource persons, that is the staff who are supposed to assist these learners. And also we need other resources like the classrooms, because the enrollment in our schools is growing high, and therefore we expect that the extra classroom that is going to remain will be occupied by the rest of the learners, because we thought others are going to junior secondary schools. But because the government has decided that we host them, we need support from them. The textbooks and the rooms and maybe the teaching aids.
Thank you so much. Mr. Daniel, just to tell us, are you ready to host these transited learners to the junior secondary school, Anza na Majina, and which primary school that you're coming from?
Okay, I am Daniel Bitok from Lebelen Primary School in Nandi County. I'm very much pleased that the government has given us the opportunity to host that level of secondary school in our primary level. But my humblest request is that we should have enough teachers to handle the learners. And also we have shortage of classrooms in some of our schools. And we are expecting the government to do something in order to facilitate smooth transition of the secondary school in our primary schools.
The national chair hinted that 30,000 teachers will be rolled out or will be given to support this transition. How do you see that? And I am sure these are principals as well as teachers for the junior secondary school.
Okay, I'm happy that the government is considering posting of teachers, more teachers to our schools, and I know that is a beginning. Let the procedure of employing more teachers continue so that CBC can continue in a very smooth manner in our schools. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Let me get another head teacher. What is your name, madam? Are you ready to host these junior secondary schools, being a pioneer in this new curriculum?
Thank you very much. My name is Jane Kura from Juja. As a head teacher, we are ready to host the children, although we feel that there are some gaps, especially with the infrastructure. Some classes, they are not up to the standard, so we like the ministry to come in and assist by improving the rooms. We also have a shortage of furniture, so we would very much like that the government provides extra furniture and of course money for doing some of the activities that are involved in the junior secondary. What
kind of deadline would you feel is okay for you school heads to work with from the government?
Now that it's coming in January, would like maybe by mid-January they provide some of this. They increase the capitation, they provide some of the furniture. Then by January we will be ready to take off.
There were some concerns from parents also that this curriculum is expensive because most parents will have to go to their pockets to assist with the teaching aids. As school heads, how do you see this equation?
It's true, it's expensive, but we feel that now that it is a system and the government had planned for it, it's not a one-day event, then the government should be ready to come in and substitute some of the materials. Instead of asking the parents to buy, they provide. If we have a practical in home science or any other subject, if they are the farm tools, let them provide. The seeds, they provide. But because with teachers, we have no problem with the implementation.
Thank you so much, Madam Jane. Let me get a parent. The same question I've just asked Madam Jane. This curriculum and parents are complaining that this system is expensive because most parents are digging into their pockets to support the practicals in CBC. Do you feel the same? Ama wewe shida zako za CBC ziko wapi ama uko sawa? Tuangalie mbele. Anza na majina.
Thank you. Kwa majina naitwa Rogers Mbula Munyalo. I'm the chairman Mama Ngina Primary School in Nakuru, a school which of course has a population of over 2,400 pupils. And of course about CBC is precisely quite expensive to parents. It has been a business of just a do or die trick to parents. I wish if it were to be revisited, I would have also opted to think like issue ya ile vitu wanashinda wakituma wazazi kwa cyber. Nikiwa mzazi mimi, I would have wished it should not be. Instead, the government should provide zile vitu ambazo wanaitisha watoto wetu ziwe zinafacilitatiwa na serikali kwa mashule. Maana yake ni gharama kubwa sana.
Hapo awali tulikuwa tumeona kwamba mfumo huu pale wanafunzi wanapomaliza kufanya mitihani yao watakuwa wanaenda katika shule za sekondari. Wazazi wengi walikuwa wamelalamika wakisema watoto bado wangali wadogo na wanapelekwa katika shule ambazo ziko mbali na wazazi wao, na walikuwa na wasiwasi. Hivi sasa wamerudishwa kwenye zile shule ambazo wamemalizia mtihani wao. Nyinyi kama wazazi umelipokeleaje swala hili, na je, unaona kwamba hawa walimu wakuu, je, wako tayari kuona kwamba masomo ya junior secondary school yanaweza kufanyika katika shule hizi?
Hakika kweli kabisa, hapa pasipo kubishana na pasipo kuficha ukweli, ni kwamba hawa wanafunzi walipotajiwa wanaenda shule za secondary ama shule za upili, wajapo kufanya mtihani huu, kweli kabisa ni jambo ambalo limekwisha ingia kwa mawazo yao. Lakini uhakika ni kwamba there is a lot of miscommunication, because one thing, take it from me, these children are so young. Out of my own observation, I have a report which I can communicate very clearly with a lot of confidence. Wazazi walio katika eneo ambayo mimi ninatoka, Nakuru, na hasa shule ambayo mimi niko, wazazi wetu hawakuchagua mashule ambayo yako nje bali na mahali wanakoishi. Hivi ni kumaanisha wazazi mwanzo hawakuwa wameridhika kwamba watoto wao wanaweza kuwa mbali nao. Pili, watoto wenyewe wamekwisha kuambiwa na wazazi wao hawafai kuwa mbali na wao, ndiposa walichagua mashule yaliyo maeneo. Ni kumaanisha nini? Hawa wanafunzi wetu ambao wanatarajiwa kuingia katika shule za upili zikiitwa junior secondary as they were expected to be, walichagua mashule yaliyo katika ukaribu wa kwao, kiwango cha wanaweza kusafiri na kurejea.
Kwa hivyo mmeridhishwa na uamuzi wa rais kupeleka watoto hao katika shule ambazo walizotoka?
Tunaikubali na tunaiunga mkono. Mwanzo watoto hawa ni wachanga sana kuwaondoa kwa mikono ya wazazi wao.
Ujumbe wako pengine kwa serikali wanapojitayarisha kuwaleta hawa watoto katika shule za junior secondary?
Mimi mwanzo nikiwa mwenyekiti wa shule ambayo ina idadi kubwa jinsi hii, ninaona shida iliyo mbele yetu hapa. Mwanzo hawa wamekwisha kuitwa wanafunzi wa junior secondary. The government should fund and should give us prayer before these people came on board come January. Serikali yetu iweze kutupa pesa za kufadhili na hasa kuweza kurun shule zetu kwa wepesi sana. Manake mwanzo inaitwa junior secondary. It must be very expensive. It must be incurring as kind of extra expenses. I wish the government should take it to its own. Watupe pesa mwanzo kabla watoto hao hawajafika. Come January, as they come on board our schools in the name of junior secondary, we want to be well equipped with money. Si zile pesa ambazo tumekuwa tukipewa za Quran primary FPE ni kidogo sana. The votes do not stand that cost. Now, owing to the fact that these pupils believe themselves to be junior secondary, it comes to our minds that it shall be an expensive thing. Secondly, I wish just to pull out of this. I wish it were possible if they posted us teachers for the same before the pupils came on board. And also we were ahead of our time to incorporate and understand the thing we are calling KBC. Thank you very much.
Allow me just to finalize. Are you ready to roll out the books? Just introduce yourself. Are you allowed to give out the books that are there?
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Geoffrey Lijodi. I'm the National Sales and Marketing Manager, Moran Publishers East Africa Limited. And we are ready to roll out the books because government has vetted books for grade 7. And when we submitted, we got 7 approvals. And out of these 7 approvals, our skills in English and our life skill books were procured by government, so we are just waiting for the LPO to supply to the schools.
But are you ready, are we ready to have these course books for the junior secondary?
The books are ready. Once we get the nod from government to print and supply, we shall be ready to do that.
Okay. So Ben Troy, that was just quite an extensive panel that I had, but all of them, they have welcome welcome these reforms, and they're looking forward to see if the government will add in more teachers, more monies for the infrastructures to be set up to ensure that there is a seamless transition, 100% transition from to junior secondary school. So we are still here. We have seen the arrival of the CS. The PS is already here. He was here earlier on. So we are expecting that in a matter of 30 minutes or so, the event to start and the teachers to hear what the government has to say concerning junior secondary school. So I hand it back to you, Ben Troy Njue. I'm Juni Garissa from Mombasa County.